What a better way to celebrate our 10th episode of Elysian State is to, you know, build a city hall because, we all need government, right? We do. I mean, obviously we need government, but current state of affairs in the United States, whew, don't get me started. So I picked up this beauty. This is Ventura City Hall. How many city halls are we going to have in this city? I mean, it's a great building. Yeah, I like it. I dig it. Probably put some parking in the back. Some landscaping. I figured we would build it within, I guess, air quotes, 4 blocks. And I guess it's not really air quotes because it is 4 blocks. And we would include the grounds to be some sort of park. At least for another place for amenities. Like we have the Capitol grounds, which it's Capitol grounds, and then this park. Maybe we'll put in some other amenities up there. But without further ado, let's dive in. So one of the first things we need to do is make sure we got water, because obviously I haven't built over here, so nobody is watered yet. Speaking of water, did you guys water your pets? Do they have water? It's hot as heck. I hope they have water. And we'll do this because it will barely extend into our easement. Of course, we are also the city. As long as we don't put it underneath the building, I think we'll be fine. We may also not need that. Coffee is so good today. It is almost 9 o'clock my time as I'm recording this on a beautiful, maybe kind of chilly Thursday morning. 68 as compared to what we have been. That's going to complain about the road. It better not complain about the water. Come on, you can do it. You've been watered. I promise. Thank you. Cool. Okay. So, how do we want to connect this road? Do you think we really need... I think what we could do is do... The only problem with building in downtown is that buildings block your view. Dang it! Why do you have to bring logic into this? We could maybe do a little squiggly. I mean, that's probably the technical term. Feel free to share with me the technical term. Turn on our anarchy, because anarchy is the best. Only on Thursdays. I mean, that'll work, right? I think it'll work. And then we could maybe move this in slightly, just like so. A happy little building, and make a little break. Although we might have to ditch that light and put in our own. We might have to ditch these lights and space them out the way we want. I should have this road. This may not work as well as I want it to, but let's give it a shot. We could do this and pull these in like this. And I think the real life building uses this as, or at least it used to be, carriages. Maybe. Fire up the old Google Maps, and yeah, it probably was at one point in time. I wouldn't shove a modern car through it, although like sedans, obviously, little compacts could probably get there, but right now it's a pedestrian path, so we might actually take that inspiration. I'm not in real life, but Google Streets View certainly makes this building look pretty. Pretty. Just admiring it. They don't have a park. I mean, they have this thing. God, look at that view. Whew. We're up a hill slightly. Okay, back to building. Now that that distraction is done, maybe we should emulate that. Maybe put it right here. Maybe push it a little bit closer and have the, well, okay, so IRL, their parking is like a block away. Probably half a block. We're putting it right on top. Decisions. Think about when the building was built. They wouldn't have accounted for parking, would they? No, not at all. They wouldn't have had a need to. Thoughts, feelings, emotional outbursts? So I had my emotional outburst, and we decided to do this. And by we, I mean I. Now, this is just gonna wreck all kinds of traffic here, but we'll fix that here in a second. Now, when they built this city, by they, I mean me, they didn't plan on line of sight and different sight lines. They just kind of did it. Because that's what you do. Yoink. And yoink. And we don't need any of that. In fact, what we probably do need... Do we make this technically one way? Although, maybe... Yeah, maybe we do. Maybe this is one way, really. And we connect these guys and hope we don't wreck traffic too much. And maybe we do... We'll do something. We'll make it look good. Okay. That's done. And now we can grab one of these pesky little guys. Although, you know what? Maybe we should make it a little bit more prominent looking than just more of the same concrete. Oh, you know what? We are going to need a park entrance. So the way this counts, because we want it to count. If it doesn't count, well, what are we doing here and why are we here? Right? 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 These invisible entrances, as much as I like entrances, although, you know, this is literally the park that surrounds City Hall. So maybe it should have a little bit more something, like small main gate. Because maybe, just maybe, it should be slightly more ornate. And we can add a small gate over here. Because you're not in a park area. Because I'm silly and I didn't put it in a park area yet. Someone needs to wake up. You know, this is the mess you would get on a live stream. And I'm bringing it to you in a recorded version. Huh. I wonder what I should do. Okay. Now we can do this. And we'll nudge him in. Cool. We didn't do it. Oh, did you know that if you double click on the thing that you want and move it, it will deselect everything else? So, for instance, if I wanted to select a building, double click, select back just to nodes, double click, or twice, like 1, 2. Doesn't have to be like really fast. definitely a very serious quality of life feature when you want to do a bunch of stuff. And it's a mix of stuff. Just as I thought. We'll think about this for a little bit. And we'll have to mess with this. I was thinking maybe this snakes around. Let's do this. Let's make this. And then grab these guys. Is it going to follow the whole time? Is it going to keep drawing? No. Okay. So what do gardens look like these days? I don't know. I don't garden. Although maybe we should make it red. What do you guys think about red? Would red do wonders? It's a much different. Although our gates won't really match. Okay. We'll go here. We'll have some side gates in the back. But do we make... I'm all for symmetry. I'm also all for let's not have everything be a grid. Yet, here I am, the one that made a city. Look, with a lot of grid. Talk about hypocritical. At least I acknowledged it. There, see, we could use these props to decorate around the building. Smart. You're gonna break. Got it. You're gonna break too. I'm trying to place it roadside. What are you talking about? Interesting. Okay, well. You do you. That's all we can ask for. Right? Capiche? My father would always say, capiche? As if I knew what that meant. And then I learned, obviously, I think, maybe. It's interesting that you kind of learn things as a child without really learning things. Because you start to understand that, understand, comprende, capiche. I think what we'll do is we'll leave that concrete, but we will bring this about. Boy, this city planner. Whew. Well, actually, this wouldn't be a city planner. This would be the designer of said gardens. The designer of said gardens was probably having a little bit too much Irish coffee in the morning. We'll call it that. Yep, that's our excuse. So we have the basis of the garden done. I mean, the basis. Let's see. And who doesn't like a little pond near their government? I don't know. Maybe. So now we have that. And if we... Whoopsie daisies. I don't know. Do we... I always think it's kind of silly that it's a walkthrough. Do. Bing. We could do... If we nudge it up close enough, we could borrow this lamppost that is put here automatically for us. Magic. What else do we put here? Let's see. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, how big is this? This is going to be in the water. I mean, we could always extend our park. I'm not opposed to extending the park because then it makes, it eats up space. Which I think next plans are going to be that we start to fill in some space. Wow, that place has no parks. Whew. These are what, decals? Yep. If you hold down control as you move about with Move It, you ironically have a little bit better control. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? Look at this. We have people using our park. Imagine that. Although I'm not a fan of this bit here. Maybe what we do is we take these guys. Bloop. Maybe it's that, and then we have a couple of shade trees around it. Awesome. Wow. What on earth is oh. Yeah, so I added a few residential buildings inside that mess called Downtown Financial whatever. And yep, people are moving in. Well, if I do say so myself, I think this this turned out nicely. I think it's a fitting property for City Hall. It's got some natural resources, kind of. I mean, it's a park. I went with a kind of variety. Like, just throw a bunch of variety in there and make it be a representation of what naturally grows or what you could find around the state, or in particular this city. I do imagine that the state, some other parts, have a lot more, a different variety of plants. But we've got, a place to play chess with your arch nemesis. I wouldn't necessarily swim in that little pond. It's probably just more or less for runoff, retainment. And you can just walk around the garden, look at some of the plants, some of the trees. Did a special little thing up front here when we get there with the roadway. Kind of striped off some parts that I imagine would be maybe city vehicles that might pull up there doing city business. Or maybe it's a maintenance truck, or it's a building inspector or whatnot, parking, doing whatever they need to do, and then going about their ways. I think we'll probably make a parking lot, probably just not in this episode, when we do some further detailing in here. Here's the front. We have a lot of campers because apparently it's a tourist trap and people want to show up and take pictures of our beautiful city hall. Oh, that car is a little confused. Ma'am, okay, you can park there. I'll allow it. Alrighty, this is the 10th episode. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm actually probably gonna need to do this. Put it in vanilla mode. If you look down here at the bottom, if you guys use was it ultimate level to detail, you get to use vanilla mode and save you some frames when you're doing stuff. And if you want to take pretty pictures, you pop it into super extreme hyper. Let's melt all of the CPU and GPU stuff while it plays. Cue evil laugh and your very sad bank account when you do that. Anyway, 10th episode. We did the city hall. Now I want to review on what has been built so far. So we're zoomed out quite a ways. We still have more of the state to go. Maybe we'll get up here by episodes 20. So we first started with Piedmont. I'm going to hit play. Let it play. Yeah, everyone's complaining. We'll let them complain. In fact, I could probably just do this and then we could see the beauty without the notifications. They're all like, we want workers. Well, they just moved in. And eventually we'll get some sort of mass transit rolling more than the buses that we have here in Piedmont. Piedmont, designed to be an est coast. You know, a west and an east coast put together, an est coast. Yeah. I would probably live in Piedmont right now. If I had to pick, I would probably live in Piedmont. Probably one of these craftsmen. Because I really like the craftsman houses. They're great. I live in a mid-century, not necessarily mid-century modern house, but if I had my choice and a beautiful craftsman came on the market and I could just, buy it immediately, I would probably buy it with no question. Piedmont. Little downtown, a little older downtown. I'd like to get it stretched out a little further west. Make use of this avenue. Obviously, we get to here and it just kind of falls off a cliff at the moment. That's okay. We'll fill it in. I imagine we do have the high school or a school complex here. I imagine we might build one a little further out, kind of maybe this way, that's actually larger and then has the sports and whatnot, kind of consume some of this space. I would like to start to infill this as we get into between these two. The international airport, you might notice a change, you might not. I did shrink it slightly some. Probably slightly a little unrealistic with these guys being too close, but the game would prefer that. There was a little bit more space. We had these double crossways going, but I shrunk it because I still felt it was way too big. I just moved everything over and then stretched this further. We'll fix this up here. I think this is gonna tie in. I might straighten it out and maybe make this complex here in this corner. And eventually we'll have to bring our rail in. I'd like to get something here that delivers freight and then maybe wrap around and then more freight that way, or it continues and then there's a spur. Maybe there's not a spur. Maybe that's how you get to the rest of the state, because we have the rest of the state on the other side of the mountains. Oh, Elysian. Our vanilla LODs are gonna load. It's gonna be a little poppy, but it's gonna make for a little bit smoother. I didn't talk in great detail about the custom logo for our CBS 4, which is one of the television stations, I guess, in this area, region. I snuck it in when we did the event center. You could really tell where I've detailed and where I haven't. Detail, not detail, a little bit of detail, definitely not detail, and where I left this monolithic cube. Crowning achievement. I left it there because it'll eventually be a sidewalk, but as much as I love detailing, there's only so much I can do per episode. No detail, no detail. This is detailed, but it's left sparse because of the helicopter. We could probably put some plants in some spaces, but we'll probably touch it when we touch these guys. And then we just did this City Hall. Look at that vanilla detail. Like, If you leave the vanilla level of detail on, it looks very sparse. And if we go back, or maybe it just is sparse because it's finally realizing that it's next to the water. Wow. Put it a little bit near the land and it might not cry a lot. But that is clearly not in the cinematics like that, but that's okay. We'll speed it up, see if they spring back to life a bit. Yep, they're starting to. Worst case, we shove some rocks over there. Elysian, what can I say? I think it's coming along nicely. We'll put us back down to pause. I think this neighborhood, there's an experiment. You can tell that there's a bike lane experiment. Maybe we'll throw some bike lanes in. Maybe a bike lane that goes around the block to feed you into here. I'm not going to tell you what's being built here. You might be able to guess. I'll let you guess. Leave that in the comments down below. Yeah, I really dig how the highway came out there. Not that I like highways, but this place. I don't know what to do about this place. I started to build it. We're gonna have a marina. This is here. Probably leave it at like this, and then probably single family residences kind of creeping up into the hillside. Fill in this area. I do have a couple of ideas for some space-consuming places, like some film studios, and obviously grow up here. So hopefully we can solve some infilling here between these pockets within the next 10 episodes. Yeah, if not, well, that's fine. It just means we go on for another 10 episodes or another 30 episodes or what have you. But, yeah. Until next time, stay awesome, stay amazing, be badass, and don't let them drive you crazy. I will leave you with cinematics. I was going to say collection. It's probably a collection. We'll probably do a nice collection of cinematics. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. And see you next time.